Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zane here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Rank, where I climb the online VGC 17 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. As you can tell, I am back in my old college dorm. I moved back to California yesterday, and I'll be here for the next couple of months to finish up my spring semester of college, so I'm really excited to be back, and to me it's just been a really hectic time. Of course, moving back into things, and classes started today, so the next couple of days are going to be a little bit hectic as I get situated with classes and figure out my exact schedule. And as a result, I do want to apologize because I did miss out on a upload yesterday, but I'll do my best to give you guys a double upload sometimes in the next couple of days. I am trying to get a new team in game as well, and as you can tell, our rating is back to 1500 because of course it is a brand new season over here on Battle Spots. So yeah, we're just back into the 1500s. Like I said, I'm trying to get a new team in game, so you can expect one pretty soon, but in the meanwhile, I'm just going to try to finish things up with this team. I'll probably do a team report on it as well, since a lot of you guys were kind of curious about the EV spreads and whatnot. But we're going to find Nato from Australia for our first opponent of the day. As always, if you guys enjoy Road to Rank, please share support by leaving a like in the video. I'd really appreciate it. And just one last time, huge thank you to you guys, because we passed 70k subs on the channel and over 10 million combined views, which is crazy because that's just like 10 million people who've heard my silly voice and me just rambling on about Pokemon. So really appreciate the support, guys. It means the world to me, and yeah, let's just have a good time. So our opponent here is running a really cool team. Gyarados, Tapu Koko, Garchomp, so more standard-ish, Gigalith as well, Gengar, and then the one that definitely sticks out is the Alolan Persian, which I really don't even know what it can do too much. So kind of worried about that because of its surprise factor. I mean, obviously it's got access to Fake Out and Parting Shot, I believe. Well, I don't know if you can use Parting Shot or not on Battle Spot at the moment. So I really like leading the Porygon2 here because it puts on a lot of offensive pressure immediately, and you know, Gengar can't really touch it with Shadow Ball, for example. So I think I'll go with that. Next to it, who do I want? I kind of want to eliminate the Gengar as quickly as possible because it really means that my Feeny can have a good time in this matchup. So I'm going to go Muk Porygon with Feeny in the back. And for the last one, I think Chomp is still good because I have the Z move, which can obliterate the Gigalith on my opponent's end. This is definitely kind of a scary team matchup, especially with the Gyarados on my opponent's end. I suspect that's going to be Z move Gyarados, potentially with Dragon Dance as well. So the reason why this matchup is a little bit tricky is because of the fact that, you know, I can't necessarily just set up Trick Room for free because there is a Gigalith on my opponent's end. And that's a super good way to kind of act Trick Room, because if I set up Trick Room, Gigalith can just come in for free, and it will outspeed everything that I have. So, we see the Persian Gengar lead. Okay. So, with my Porygon and Muk here, I would say this is a decent option here. Let's see what download gives me first. Attack, unfortunately. So, return on Porygon is something we've been seeing more. I know Wolf actually ran that at Georgia Regionals, and it's something I've been testing as well. He even had Swagger in his Tapu Fini to make things easier. So I'm kind of afraid of a Will-O-Wisp right now onto Muk. So I could just go for some free damage output turn 1. Protect on Muk, my opponent could read. You know, even if he burns me, that's not the end of the world. I really would like to... Like, I'm just afraid of a Fake Out and a Will-O-Wisp onto Muk. So I might protect turn 1 just to scout him out, because he can't do too much to Porygon other than taunt me with Gengar. So I'll play it safe turn 1. He might switch out to Gigalith as well. And Gengar actually does switch out, okay. There's the Garchomp, though. I think I'm okay with that because I can still just Ice Beam pressure that Garchomp. But good switching by my opponent for sure. Let's see what Persian goes for. Okay, so he fakes out Porygon. I almost called it Polygon there. This is a little bit concerning because now he can Tectonic Rage into my Muk slot. But knowing we've seen the Gengar already, I could just Ice Beam and Shadow Sneak. I could trade Muk right now. Do I really need Muk? Could also switch into my Garchomp. Maybe I'll do that. I don't want to give up Muk just yet. So I'm going to Ice Beam Chomp here, and I will withdraw my Muk into my Garchomp. Actually, maybe I don't want to do that. Maybe I want to give up Feeny instead, because Garchomp can one-shot the Gigalith if that's my opponent's last Pokemon. And Feeny could survive a Tectonic Rage here as well. Ice Beam could... It's a damage roll on Chomp. It could just knock it out outright. Even if it doesn't, I might be able to just put it in Shadow Sneak KO range. And if my opponent reveals that he doesn't have Gigalith in the back, then I can go for the Trick Room option this game. But that was a really nice switch in by my opponent turn 1. So Feeny will come in. Misty Terrain will be up, so he can't burn me anymore with a potential Will-O-Wisp. See what Garchomp does. There's a parting shot. That's fine. This is a really cool animation. Yeah. Okay, that's actually kind of bothersome because Ice Beam's going to do a lot less now. I think Gengar might come back in as well. So good to know you can use Parting Shot now on Battle Spot. If I could see the fourth, that would actually be really helpful, because then that could allow me to make a decision on whether I want to Trick Room or not. If Gengar comes back in, it could also just pressure with Taunt onto Porygon. So, let's see. Yeah, Parting Shot, really cool move though. Yeah, decreasing both attack and special attack. It's a big deal, especially with Porygon against Garchomp, because otherwise, you know, Ice Beam could just knock you out. Gengar does come back out, okay? You think he's going to Tectonic Rage? Yep, there's the Z move, so kind of obvious he was going for that, but still. The one thing about Persian, though, is its offensive output is not that great, so I can keep that in mind. Gengar can't really touch my Muk either, so that's why I would like to eliminate Garchomp as quickly as possible. Other good thing is he can't burn me with his Gengar, so let's say I do lose Tapu Fini here, I get to switch it into my Garchomp, and he won't be able to do too much damage to me. Maybe go for a taunt or whatnot. But yeah, Fini actually hangs on with 35 HP. Not sure if I wanted Fini to faint there or not, but at least I eliminate the fact that he can't one-shot my Muk anymore, and that's a big deal in this matchup. Okay, so that was a overall I guess solid turn. I think it's likely Garchomp switches out here, or protects. Like, there's no way he just lets me get a free Ice Beam against that slot. So I'm still gonna just Ice Beam it. Probably wants to Sludge Bomb Fini, but he could predict a Protect from there. Could also Ice Beam Gengar to remove its Sash. Like, I want to Ice Beam Chomp just because it's a safer play. But I really think he's protecting or switching out. So I'm going to Ice Beam Gengar, and I'm actually going to switch out into my Chomp right now. So let's see whether his Chomp switches out or protects. Yep, there's the switch. That's good. And there's Persian coming back in. Also fine with that because damage output, not that great. So Fini will swap out. Unless he's got HP Ice on Gengar, he won't be able to knock my Garchomp out or even do too much damage to it. And he just goes for a Sludge Bomb, probably into the Fini slot. Yep. That does a lot. Wow. It's Life Orb Gengar. You don't see that every day. That's really interesting. Wow, okay. So, didn't expect to see that. That's pretty cool. Ice Beam, unfortunately, doesn't do the greatest amount of damage, but that's fine. With Life Orb, I wonder if he can knock me out. Because I think it's possible. I could switch into Muk, though. But he'll probably fake out my Porygon. I could also switch out into my Muk with Porygon and Protect Chomp. I don't think Shadow Sneak KOs Gengar in that range. Ice Beam Gengar, and I'm protecting here. This is not exactly a great play. I kind of ran out of time there, so I didn't have much time. Okay, his Gengar protects. That's fine then. He might have Parting Shotted with Persian. Let's see. I also don't know if Shadow Ball can KO me. I think I might still be able to hang on. Oh, he actually taunts. Okay. So we've seen Fake Out, Taunt, and Parting Shot from Persian. I would guess the last one's going to be Foul Play. Solid play by my opponent there. If he does that Foul Play, I think he'll want to double up onto me. So I'm actually going to Ice Beam Gengar, because it's still doing a considerable amount. And I'm going to switch back out into Muk, because Muk can Shadow Sneak. And with some more Ice Beam damage on the Gengar, I might just be able to Shadow Sneak him for a knockout. The lame thing is, Tapu Fini isn't really doing very much in this matchup at all. I was able to eat that Z move up, which was nice. But, yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if bringing Ninetales would have been better. Like, you would think my opponent has to bring Gigalith because I have Ninetales. So I really think Gigalith is the last one, which is why I like to conserve my Chomp for now. And Muddy Water still does a considerable amount to Gigalith as well. Yep, so there's the Foul Play, going presumably into Muk. Yep. So that was a decent amount. And he's going to Shadow Ball me as well. Yeah, so he could have done that last turn, opted not to. Muk takes that like a champ, actually. And I will be able to get an Ice Beam off here, which is nice. So that's in Shadow Sneak KO range now for sure. Or maybe not for sure, actually. That did less than I anticipated. But here, I'm going to Ice Beam the Persian slot, expecting him maybe to switch back out into Chomp, and I'm going to sneak the Gengar. Persian doesn't really do anything right now. I can't Trick Room with Porygon, but still don't really want to do that. My goal is to eliminate both Gengar and Garchomp, and both of those are kind of whittled down to the point where Porygon and Muk might be able to take care of them. So that's good. And if I can utilize that to my advantage, then if the last one is that Gigalith, which I'm expecting, Chomp can just eliminate that. But Gengar actually swaps out. Okay, maybe Gigalith coming in here. Yep, so we do see Gigalith. We do confirm my opponent's fort. That means he doesn't have any Levitate or any flying types on his team, so Earthquake can kind of, sweep through my opponent's team, but obviously not going to be that easy. So he is going to be able to eat up this Shadow Sneak. Let's see what Persian does here. I'm hoping for a Parting Shot. Actually, it is a Parting Shot. So he's going to swap back out, and whatever is coming back in is going to eat an Ice Beam. Porygon now at -2, but I still haven't taken any damage, which is good. And getting an Ice Beam off against Garchomp or the Gengar is great because there's Sand damage and I have Shadow Sneak pressure. So I'm fine with that. Persian is being super obnoxious to play against right now, but not the worst. Garchomp does come back in. Hopefully, I mean, if he's Sandville, I could miss Ice Beam here. But I hit it. Okay, that's really good. I don't know if this will knock him out. It does. Excellent. That's why I went for Ice Beam. I know Persian's not doing any damage right now, so he's probably going to want to swap out, and whatever comes in has to eat an Ice Beam, and I'll take that damage any day. So that's a really, really good turn for me because I eliminate the Garchomp, which is a huge threat to me, especially to Muk. Mist disappears from the field, and I'm at -2 with Porygon. Porygon's probably going to want to swap out eventually, but the thing is, he doesn't have too much offensive pressure right now. So let's see what comes in. I would think Persian just to get some fake out pressure, because Gigalith is kind of obnoxious right now, but I think Garchomp can just come in and start Earthquaking freely. I think if you're my opponent, you definitely bring in Persian here, though. I'd be happy to see Gengar, because, yep, there's a Persian. So, good switching by my opponent. Fine by me. I think what I want to do here is actually sack my Feeny. I also want Muk to proc its berry, so I'm going to protect my Muk and switch Porygon out. Not that Porygon's doing too much damage, but it's also not doing anything in return right now. I don't need Porygon to really do damage, because I knocked out the Garchomp, and that was the biggest deal. But right now it's just, excuse the pun, I've said this before, but it's literally a sitting duck. It just kind of sticks around, and as a result, it doesn't apply any pressure, and if Feeny gets knocked out, then I get the free switching into Garchomp, and that just puts on so much more pressure against my opponent. Then there's some Protect Mind games. I do still have to think things out, but with Sandstorm and with Muk having ability to Shadow Sneak and not, being intimidated or at -1 attack, then Shadow Sneak most definitely should eliminate the Gengar in the back. So I'll bring in Feeny. Having Misty Terrain up is always great too, because it means, they can't get any statuses. Not a big deal here really in this matchup, but yeah. So Muk protects. Let's see what he does with Persian and Gigalith. Foul plays into Gigalith, or Muk, that's fine with me, and just a Stone Edge into the Feeny slot, also fine with me. This is perfect because now I get the free switch into my Garchomp, which was exactly what I was looking for. So I think Muk's also going to get the berry proc here. Yep, perfect. So that's literally going to bring me up all the way back to full health, which is very nice. And now I get to bring in my Chomp. Foul play from Persian should not knock me out. I'd really like to just Z-move Gigalith here and Poison Jab. The obvious move for him is to protect Gigalith. But I'm just gonna go for it. I suppose Gigalith can't really knock me out though, so I could just protect Poison Jab. But he could double up onto Muk. Not that Persian does too much. Yeah, I'm just gonna Z-move here. And Poison Jab, Persian. Gigalith's probably going to protect. But if he doesn't, then I insta win the game. Okay, he doesn't protect. Can Foul Play knock me out? I don't think it will. Okay, that's game. Game pretty close, though. I figured my opponent might have predicted me to protect Garchomp there. So maybe jabbing Persian still would have been the better play. I mean, it was a kind of a mind game on whether he protect Gigalith or not there, and I expected him not to protect. So I end up making the right call. But even if he doesn't protect, worst case he gets the Stone Edge against Muk. But now Muk just wins the game because he has Gengar and Persian. Neither of those can really touch Muk with its attacks. And yeah, knowing that Persian didn't have any offense other than Foul Play was really big in this matchup. Because I was able to just play around that, and getting the Garchomp on the Ice Beam call was really nice too. He might have been expecting like a tri-attack or whatnot as jab. Wow, that's a super bulky Persian actually. Wasn't expecting it to take, Poison Jab did what I expected it to do without a crit, and it took a critical hit for it to do that much. So that was kind of surprising, but that's fine. Now I can just bring Porygon2 back in, Shadow Sneak into Gengar, and, you know, Persian just kind of faints, because Foul Play does nothing to my Muk. I suppose I don't even need to really switch out. Yeah, I'm just going to Poison Jab here into Persian, and, oops, Shadow Sneak into Gengar. He can't win the game with Muk out here. This was a doozy, though. Yeah, if he does pick up that knockout with Foul Play, for example, if he gets a crit, then I also probably lose the game. So that was a little bit scary. He's going to go Protect here with Gengar. I'm fine with that because he takes the turn of Sand damage, so Shadow Sneak now probably even easier to knock him out. He's just going to Foul Play with Persian, and he's going to target down Chomp. Also fine by me. He is taking damage from Rough Skin and the Sandstorm. So Chomp's going to come down, and Porygon's going to come back in. This was definitely a pretty scary matchup, and Persian is not a Pokemon I've really faced at all in VGC. Part of it was because of the Parting Shot glitch, and then I did remember they actually patched that up in the last update, so now you can use Parting Shot. Really cool move, because not only do you get to switch out, but you also get to decrease your opponent's attack and special attack, so you can really utilize that well. There's a reason why we've seen Will-O-Wisp and Snarl being used, and Arcanine's been one of the top Pokemon in the format. And I can just try attack and Shadow Sneak. And we know that Persian doesn't have any attack other than Foul Play, so he's not doing any damage right now. So Gengar's the bigger threat, but Gengar also can't really touch Muk with Sludge Bomb and Shadow Ball. So I think a better play I could have made earlier was bringing in Muk instead of Garchomp, because I was not expecting Life Orb on Gengar. Without Life Orb, he certainly doesn't put on that much pressure. Shadow Sneak there does get the crit. Don't think that matters. Curse Body comes out. But yeah, I think once I knocked out Gigalith, it was game. So we're going to see Parting Shot there. It's a really cool animation. I'm really excited to make that the thumbnail of this episode. Going for Parting Shot there onto Muk. Try attack here will finish up the deal. If it doesn't, Sandstorm most definitely will. But yep, try attack from Porygon coming out, and we do pick up a win in our first game of the season. Definitely a doozy there, though. And, you know, normally you expect the games in the beginning of the ladder to be pretty easy. You know, that's why we see people have super solid records when they're climbing up until, like, the 1650s, 1700s for a lot of more experienced VGC players. But our opponent was super solid there. I thought he made some really solid plays, and it wasn't an easy matchup by any means. Kind of came down to, is he going to do enough damage with Foul Play? Does he crit me, / does he protect with Gigalith? If Gigalith protected there, that would have been a doozy, because then Poison Jab wasn't doing very much to Persian. So I was considering doubling up onto the Persian there, but I thought he might have protected, or sorry, not protected, and fortunately made the right call there. But it feels like a prediction where I was like, you're kind of guessing. But with Tectonic Rage, you know, I felt okay about my position. So, going to find a South Korean for our second opponent of the day, running a really scary team. Garchomp, Arcanine, Gastrodon, Tapu Lele, Celesteela, and Klefki. So, I mean, I think Klefki definitely sticks out the most there, because everything else, you know, kind of standard-ish. I never ended up getting Freeze Dry on Ninetales. Some of you guys were really nice on offering me, you know, Pokemon or Vulpixes with Freeze Dry. I really appreciate that. But I knew I was switching teams anyway. But definitely would be really nice in this matchup against the Gastrodon and the Garchomp. Unfortunately, not the case, but alas, what can you do? I think Feeny will be really solid here if it ends up being like Feeny against Gastrodon or Lele. I think I'm going to go the Ninetales route immediately here, though. Yeah, Ninetales Garchomp's really good, actually. In the back, I hate it, but I think I really need to bring Arcanine solely for Celesteela, because otherwise Celesteela can really just apply too much pressure. And for the last one, I'm really worried about the end game against Gastrodon, so I'm going to bring in Feeny. Yeah, if I had Freeze Dry on Ninetales, you'd imagine dealing with Garchomp. I mean, I can Blizzard Garchomp, but I can also Freeze Drying against Gastrodon would be very nice. Unfortunately, not the case. Really curious if the Klefki makes an appearance, because that's not a Pokemon I really expect to see too much in this format. So let's see what my opponent decides to bring. Also kind of a scary matchup, though. Especially with Celesteela. So, here's Ninetales and Garchomp. What's my opponent going to go for? Gastrodon, Celesteela. Okay. So, there are a lot of questions in mind already, like whether my opponent predicts me to have Freeze Dry, because I could have that. Could Ice Beam Garchomp? I don't know if he has Ice Beam on that Gastrodon or not. I think I'd like to set up an Aurora Veil here, though, for sure, just to get started. Celesteela probably wants a Heavy Slam into me. I could double switch here into Arcanine and Feeny, but he could just Muddy Water or Scald. You know, I don't really mind double switching too much, though, because the nice thing is I can still burn the Celesteela with Will-O-Wisp. And if I burn him, then he's not doing any damage with Heavy Slam. And Gastrodon can't touch my Feeny, really. So, The first question is whether he swaps out Gastrodon or not. Getting Intimidate against Celesteela is always nice, though. I kind of want to conserve my Ninetales too, potentially for a Chomp in the back. So, yeah, gonna pull the double switch here. Don't think there's too much pressure from my opponent offensively, but we'll see. He just heavy slams. He doesn't protect Gastrodon. Okay. So that's not going to do... Yeah, it still does more than I would have liked. Oh, that's a Life Orb Celesteela. Whoa. And he goes for Toxic, but because I have Misty Terrain, that's not going to do anything. So that's good. Life Orb Celesteela. Okay, you don't see that every day, but I can Will-O-Wisp that slot freely, and the reason why I can burn it is because it's floating. I'm actually really glad to see offensive Celesteela. It means taking care of it will be a lot easier here. But now we've got some questions. He might just switch out Celesteela, and I can't burn for example, a Garchomp. I think I'm going to Snarl here, actually. Snarl and could Calm Mind. Because I think he might double switch here. Gastrodon really doesn't do anything. So maybe I want to Moonblast that slot, actually. I think a safe play is actually just Will-O-Wisping Celesteela and Moonblast. I don't want to overpredict right now. He could switch Celesteela out into Chomp, though. Let's see, it is swapping out. Is it Chomp? Nope, it's Lele. So that's actually kind of nice, because that means I do get the burn off. But he could be going for a Toxic here with his Gastrodon. Unless Gastrodon switches out as well. But he doesn't. So could have gotten a free Calm Mind there. Snarl actually would have been a pretty nice attack as well. Don't miss the Will-O-Wisp, which is nice, though. However, I'm probably taking a Scald here on Arcanine, which is not fun. No, he just goes for Toxic. Onto Feeny, probably. Yeah. Good play. I'm okay with that, but the other concern is this Lele set. He's obviously faster than Arcanine since he just took the hail damage. Lele is losing an 1/8 of its HP every turn due to hail and burn, but it's still kind of a concern right now. I'll take that turn, though. I kind of wish I Snarled there. It looks like Gastrodon has a Citrus Berry, so no Z stockpile, which we saw a little bit of in London, but that's okay. I'm just really afraid of the Z move right now. I think he's going to have it. So if he has the Z move, I want to conserve Arcanine because Flamethrower is my way to deal with Celesteela. I'm going to Moonblast Lele for sure, I think. Do I really need Arcanine for Celesteela? It still would be nice to have. I'm just worried that Chomp's going to be his last one. Because then I lose my biggest asset to dealing with Chomp, which is my Ninetales. Okay, I'm going to bring in Ninetales here. And I'm going to Moonblast into Lele. You could also target Feeny, but I'm fine losing Feeny. So Arcanine swaps out into Ninetales. Yeah, I really wish I Snarled last turn. He goes for Psychic, so something tells me he might be Scarfed if he's Psychicking there. Especially without a Z move. And that still does a ton, jeez. So I'll get a Moonblast off. Yeah, that does a ton. Yeah, Gastrodon recovers, actually. Okay. I'm fine with it recovering. We've seen Toxic recover so far. That's a little bit annoying, though, because I am poisoned with Feeny, so I can't, just Calm Mind forever in the late game, especially with Hail up right now as well. But this next turn, I think I'm just going to protect Ninetales, because I expect that to be Scarf Lele, and just Moonblast Lele. Yeah, he's not going to faint from Hail plus Burn next turn either. Just unfortunate, but that's fine. Yeah, so let's just try to eliminate Lele right now. Dealing with Gastrodon is going to be a little bit tricky, but I don't think he has Ice Beam if we see Toxic and Recover. I mean, I guess he could have Scald Ice Beam as his last two. So let's see. So Lele switches out, okay. Maybe it's not Scarf then. Celesteela comes in. That's okay. Good switch in there by my opponent, though. Because it kind of negates any damage I could really do here. He's not protecting with Gastrodon, so I really don't think he has Protect with that. Moonblast isn't going to do too much damage here, unfortunately. And he does have Ice Beam. Oh, that's bad as well. Okay. Crits there. Oh, this Gastrodon. Tricky, tricky. Yeah, we haven't really had too many issues against Garchomp because we haven't played too many with this team, but you can see how it's slightly a nuisance. So he's got heavy slam pressure. I am taking a lot of damage now from Toxic. Okay. I'm going to switch back out into Arcanine right now. And I'm going to just Moonblast Gastrodon. I'd really like the damage onto Gastrodon. I want Celesteela to take more damage from Life Orb plus Hail. And I'm trying to set up Garchomp to maybe win this game as well. Hail's actually going to expire this turn, but by switching out Ninetales, I'll be able to set it up again. And that's why I'd get to switch out here, because if I stay in, then next turn I can't go for an Aurora Veil or a Blizzard safely. The tricky thing is I don't know the item on Lele yet. It could be Life Orb, it could be Sash. And, sorry, Life Orb, I don't know why I said Sash. Scarf. Scarf is definitely rising in popularity pretty quickly. Yeah, that Ice Beam on Gastrodon's scary, but I do have Tectonic Rage to just kind of nuke it. That's why I'm going for the Moonblast here. If he knocks out the Feeny, then I get the Garchomp in for free. Yeah, and I get a special attack drop. It's actually really nice. Wow, so it's Life Orb Celesteela, but he's got Leech Seed as well. That's a really interesting... We might just see a Scald here onto Arcanine. Yeah, so we confirmed the Gastrodon's full moveset, which is good. That does very little damage, actually. Wow. Hail stops. So, yeah, this is a really long, drawn-out game, and there's so much recovery going all around as well. But the thing is, with that special attack drop, like, sure, Gastrodon can recover, but I can kind of snarl away and just negate any offensive pressure it puts on. Okay. I'm going to snarl here. And I'm going to switch out into... I want to switch out into Chomp. I don't want this Celesteela to get a Beast Boost. That's my biggest concern. So, yeah, I'll pull the switch out into Chomp here. He could Ice Beam, that's not, but at -2, Gastrodon's Ice Beam should have knocked me out. Although I suppose a Heavy Slam and an Ice Beam into that slot would be kind of bad. So let's see. Ah, he protects Celesteela. Perfect. That's good. Okay. Snarl, don't miss, please. Nice. Hits the Gastrodon. That's nice. Brings down under 50. He could be going for a recover here, but I'm fine with that. Nope, he just Scalds. Hopefully into Arcanine, yeah. That procs my Barry, actually, which is perfect for me. So that's nice. Get rid of the Leech Seed recovery, and get that going. Weirdness disappears from the field. Great. So, with this, I'm going to Flamethrower into Celesteela. And I'm going to go for the Z move onto Gastrodon. Celesteela's not going to get knocked out by Flamethrower, but it'll take a hefty amount, and he's probably going to want to switch Celesteela out. He could pull a double switch right now, which is what I'm concerned about. But he stays in with both and doesn't protect. Wow, that's really surprising. But super good for me, I would say, because I knock out Gastrodon. And I do need a Z move here, because otherwise, you know, my only other option is Earthquaking. I don't want to Earthquake my own Arcanine. I don't really have a Pokemon to switch out into either. So, Tectonic Rage will be able to eliminate the Gastrodon finally, and I'll be able to get a Flamethrower off against the Celesteela. He might be going for a Leech Seed, but I think I'm okay with that, because unless he's got, like, HP Ice, which, I don't know, seeing Life Orb Celesteela, you never know, maybe he has it. So, I'm faster, I will get the Flamethrower off. Let's see how much this does. Around 50% or so, I would think. Ooh, actually knocks it out. That must be a crit, yeah. So, that's a little bit unlucky for my opponent. Unless he had hit Empire Ice, I really would have actually not minded Celesteela staying in, because it's kind of dead weight after being at -1, and if you Leech Seed me, like, you still are just in KO range from Arcanine even after recovery. So, that crit could work against me, honestly. Lele's going to come back in. I think Garchomp's going to be the last one. Perfect. So, that means Ninetales can just Blizzard through, however, it depends on what item this Lele has. That's the other scary thing. Okay, but I've still got Feeny in the back, right? And my goal should be to just to eliminate Lele right now. Could be Scarf Chomp as well, it's my other concern. He probably just Moonblasts Garchomp and Tectonic Rages Arcanine. So I'm going to switch into Feeny to first get the terrain up. And I want Lele to take some burn damage. We're definitely not in the clear yet, so I still have to play this smartly. But the thing is, if Lele is Scarfed, if it's not Scarfed, then I just win the game with Blizzard, although Garchomp could be Scarfed as well. And that's why I actually didn't really want that knockout there onto the Celesteela. Although I suppose he would have switched in Garchomp, so that could have put in some pressure. But I have Flamethrower. Okay, so I'm going to protect Garchomp here. He is Scarfed. Okay, that is good to confirm. And he's Rock Sliding, okay. So, resorting to Rock Sliding, maybe trying to catch a switch into Arcanine, or sorry, into Ninetales. That's actually bad. Feeny doesn't faint here. Actually, I guess Rock Sliding is still his best option there. You probably just Moonblast Chomp. Yeah, but he's going to take another turn of Burn, and then I bring in Ninetales so I can just protect. So I think I've got this game won with Ninetales anyway. So what am I going to do here? I'm just going to Moonblast. Feeny's going to faint, but that's fine. And I'm going to switch into Arcanine just to get Intimidate off. And then what I can do is Layla is going to take another turn of burn damage. Ninetales comes in, and then with Hail, you know, it just ticks off. So yeah, Scarf Lele did confirm that. Smart of my opponent to switch out there. I was really hoping to just knock him out, hoping he would get a little bit greedy earlier on. Moonblast plus Rock Slide actually probably doesn't even knock out Ninetales or Arcanine because of the Intimidate. But he actually doesn't go for Rock Slide. He goes for a Poison Jab instead. Fine by me. Basically, obviously, what I'm setting myself up for now is for my Ninetales to win the game because I know Blizzard just eliminates Garchomp. And with Hail setting up this turn, I can just safely protect. And that'll eliminate the chance of... well, with Hail and Burn, Lele faints. Super intense games today, honestly. Got a little bit lucky with that crit as well. That's why having Freesia on Ninetales would make my life a lot easier. He's not really using Icy Wind, obviously. So I'm just going to protect here. He probably doesn't even lock me out with the Rock Slide. So... yeah, I'll just Flamethrower. Chomp loses a potential Sash. Could be AV, but even with AV, I think I've got this game locked up knowing Lele Scarfed. Unless it's super slow Chomp. But that's fine as well. Yep, here's the Moonblast. Into the Protect. And there's a Rock Slide. So if he doesn't flinch me, I think... oh, and Arcanine actually avoids it, but I'm pretty sure Burn plus Hail knocks out Lele there anyway, because, yeah, he definitely was in 1/8 KO range. So Lele faints, and that's most definitely a game now. Ninetales will be able to just get a Blizzard off. We'll be able to seal up the deal, but these were super intense games for lower ladder. Like, normally I think of just playing a couple of games before I jump onto the ladder, just so we get more competitive games, but these were really tense games. This one got a little bit lucky for sure as well. I don't think it necessarily mattered, especially with Fire Fang on Garchomp, and with his Celesteal not being able to apply too much pressure, but hard to say for sure. The one thing that would have been important, though, is if Celesteal doesn't faint and he stays in, and he brings in Chomp, then my Ninetales basically gets a free switch in, because he's still going to take a ton of damage from Celesteal. That's why I really like Ninetales, too. Like, Garchomp's really popular, especially with the Z move, so Blizzard just one-shots it. If they're Sash, then they, you know, lose their Sash from Hail, and if they're Assault Vested, Blizzard still does a ton of damage. Could still knock it out. I don't know the, like, exact damage calcs on there. Probably not, but, you know, doing a ton of damage against Garchomp, always good. So, super long episode for you guys, but a really fun one. I hope you guys didn't mind the length. Those were some super intense battles, and we do start off the season 2-0, which is quite nice, and like I mentioned, I will be doing a double upload sometime in the next couple of days, whenever I find free time to record more, so you guys can expect one to make up for the one that I missed yesterday, and like I mentioned, I will be trying to get a new team in game, so hopefully before, you know, the weekend, I'll have a new team in game for you guys to have. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed. As always, leave a like if you did, and I'll see you guys next time. Alright, peace.